everybody's read over the minutes, I guess me and Burton and the others online, right?
Do we do the roll call first?
Oh, we're gonna do a roll call, okay. Burton Glover,
Here.
Bill Moore,
He's muted, so he's got to unmute.
Bill, you have to unmute. Don Eden,
Here.
Patsy Gregory. Absent. She's not here. And Randy Wilson here.
He's coming in right here. She's just trying to figure out how to.
Patsy is.
Here's my category. About Mr. Moore. Yeah.
Bill, do you hear us?
I have to unmute.
You'll have to unmute Bill Moore.
Just unmute.
Okay.
He's unmuted.
Okay.
Call his name.
Hey, Bill. Bill Moore.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. That's the first.
I think I'm having a little trouble with my mute button, but bear with me, please.
That's all right. You ain't gonna be by yourself, buddy. So we went through the roll call. I guess next step we're gonna.
Randy.
Miss Patsy.
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
All right. Thank you, Miss Gregory. We went through the roll call. Everybody, we got a full house, so we're gonna move on to the minutes from the previous meeting. If anybody, have y'all had a chance to read them, or did y'all have a copy? Did they get a copy of it?
I make a motion that the minutes from March the 12th of 2020 be approved as presented.
We got a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Moore, second. All in favor? Well, we gotta go roll. Bill Moore, aye. Don Eden,
Yes.
Burton Glover,
Yes.
Patsy Gregory,
Yes.
Randy Wilson. Yes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yeses. Okay. We got that behind us. Corey, I'm gonna just turn it over to you for right now. Let you go over your report, whatever you have for us.
Okay. I know this is probably the biggest packet we've ever had, but I was trying to include anything and everything in numbers that I could present to y'all or have to answer questions. Going back to the budget meeting the other night when it was asked why we had not caught on before that the revenue was not where it should be. The first, let's see, pages 6 through 11. There's been many years that our payout for disposal has been over transfer station income on these reports. I've gone back from 2005 forward, just every couple of years throwing one in there. I was really hoping where our numbers were at October, that was the month that our disposal went up, but also in November is when our new scales opened up. So I was hoping after estimating July to October that we would see a difference in November and December numbers. And after those started coming in, after the cost of disposal went up, it still wasn't, we weren't balancing out. And that's when the committee at their January meeting raised the rates for our disposal. But this is the first time that I've ever had to have rates go through as a resolution. Clyde suggested it this time. So by the time they went through full commission, we sent notices out to all of our charge customers. The actual new rates did not go in effect till March 1st. I think between that delay and us estimating those months to be able to keep the gates open, I think that was a big problem. One thing I can't figure out is, overall, I'm going back and looking at numbers from, because we only have completed numbers through the end of March. July to March last year, the 18-19, this will be page 12 in your agenda. You can see what we did as a total between cash transactions and our charge transactions. That total from July to March 31st was $1,556,458. Well, then when I pulled the same numbers from our system for July 2019 to March 2020, we've actually done $3,000 more dollars than we did last year at this point. So I guess that's what I couldn't wrap my brain around, is how is revenue coming in so much lower as what's expected when we've already done just a tad bit more than we had last year at this time. I know in previous years, I mean, when I started a few years ago as director, we started out and we were at $1 million fund balance, but you know, there was things that we had to do as far as moving the convenience center at Cedar Hill, doing the one there on West County Farm Road, and then our scales. And I know that we used up our fund balance on those projects. I don't know if that's the cause, is because we don't have that padding and overall numbers anymore. I can't see that we have went so far down just from July, looking at my numbers. And is it also the free trash that we're taking in at our facility from all of our convenience centers? City of Springfield, City of White House pays 50%. You have your anti-litter programs that dump for free, Building and Grounds, the compactor here at the office building. I've also included in those last few pages, 14 through 17, kind of a breakdown that we used to do of the free trash being brought in compared to the budget we had those years, and how much revenue from the tipping fees had to cover the lack of the free trash coming in. I mean, this month, well, ever since COVID-19, we have been really busy. I can see this month being revenues probably between $200,000 to $250,000 for the month, but you got to think that's twice as much trash too that we've hauled out. So with last month's disposal being right at 100,000, you know, are we going to hit a $400,000 bill this month? So until we have those numbers in, it's going to be hard to determine how we're going to play out this year, especially with this, you know, like I said, March being the first full month that the rates went up. The very last page that I have in your packet is, I actually had this saved on my computer from back in 2010, and I added 2020 in this end column, and it shows the tax rate that we received from 2000 up to 2010, and then I added, like I said, 2020. We started out in 2000 getting 12 cents, which I know the tax dollar didn't generate as much back then as it does now either. But we were at 12 cents, then we went to 13 cents, then we went down to 9 cents. 2008, we went down to 7, stayed there for 2009, and then the last time it went down was in 2010 to 6 cents, and that's where we're still at 10 years later. And I think we have to consider the population growth in our county for that 10-year period also. Of course, the 2020 census isn't in. I had to go by the 2018 census numbers, but it was figuring 27,756 households in our county. The average household does about 35 pounds a week of trash. If you take that times 52 weeks, pound is down to tons. If everybody decided to stop using private haulers and started taking it to all of our convenience centers, say we had to pay for all of the household trash, that would be 25,000 tons a year, which equals out to $901,000 a year if we come down to that. That's just something kind of to look at based on population. And like I said, I know everybody doesn't use them. They hire private haulers. Those private haulers bring it to us and they pay for it. But overall, the 18-19 year, the total trash we took in for free to dispose of cost us $460,000. And that doesn't include any operating costs as far as the truck drivers pulling the boxes at the convenience centers, the loaders loading it, any of that. That's just strictly the disposal for that. Is there any questions so far about all of the, I know I've overloaded you with papers and reports, but.
Did everybody online hear that? All right.
I did.
Every bit of it.
Okay. Corey's asking if anybody's got any questions on anything that she reported on.
I talked to Keith Hoover before the meeting began, and instead of 6 cents at solid waste getting, it's 5 cents.
Okay. So it went down again somewhere since 2010.
It's 860,000 is what you're getting. At 172,000 for the penny, so you get
So, okay, so it went down another penny between 10 and. Keith,
I have a question for Corey.
860.
860. I figured a little more.
Okay, go ahead.
Corey, I know you're talking about the population's grown. Of course, as the population grows, as houses are built, there's more tax that comes in off of those. So in some ways, it'd be a little bit of a wash. But I guess my question is that for those of you not there, that my simple mind, I took a little Excel spreadsheet of the money going out and the money coming in and the trash going out and the trash going in. And looking at the thing that I came through, I guess I'm concerned that we did not realize that we had a problem before it got to be budget time. With this little thing here, you know, that like I said, I know there was a scale problem. We consistently were sending out more trash weight-wise than we were bringing in weight-wise, and of course that it's going to make a dollar difference of what comes in. But from July through March, we had 2 months that we were actually in the black, so to speak, as far as money goes. And during that time, there was 1 month when we actually were shipping out more trash than we brought in. And I realize there needs to be a little bit, it should wash depending on when the month's in and how it's pulled out. You know, you're not going to have the total tons, but you know, we have probably shipped out, I'm going to guess, right at 100 more truckloads than we have taken in. And I don't understand why it was at this point, budget time, when we caught. And I'll take some responsibilities. I looked at the monthly reports. I did not go back and look at year to date by any means, because I guess I assumed that somebody else was. But at the same time, we had a problem 1 month when the wrong number got put in, or the number got carried forward again, and nobody noticed that. So it kind of says to me, or I'm wondering who is looking. You know, do we need to get this thing here month by month so we can sit down and look at it? That is the part that bothers me, and I don't know how we're going to figure it out or whatever. But I understand, you know, looking at past years, but you know, past years, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent, we still got to make the budget for the 2021 year. And we got just a little under, 175,000 and change difference there. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so long, didn't mean to get on a tangent, but that was just
You're fine.
I'm concerned about that.
I have a copy of, you know, you sent me your spreadsheet that you did, and I just had to pull it up on my phone because I didn't print it out. But I know July, August, September, and October, there is no way to make those numbers right since we were estimating. I mean, there's no way our inbound and outbound is going to be right. Then when we get into November, that's already when they started the 6,000 pound minimum. And the numbers that we pull up to put in this report is what it shows actually came across our scales. But I put their number of waste out as the waste out number. So I guess what I can start doing on reports, with addition to the recommendation to put in our accounts receivable, is put in actual tons weighed out or actual tons disposed compared to what they're charging us for. Because I do it by what tons we paid for, not what tons was actually done. Because they break that down in their invoicing. If there's a load less than 80,000, they put in their actual tons disposed of and then tons paid for because of that minimum.
But that's fine. I guess it should be, well, it will be another time for discussion, but we need to discuss with Purvis here about, since he's got a jockey there and a truck there, we weigh those trucks when they get scaled, when they get loaded. And then if there's a difference somewhere else, then, we've got something to go with there. And,
Right.
But anyway, that was my thing. I know we were estimating the weight across there, but I guess if we would have been looking at numbers, we might need to say, hey, we need to go up 5% on our estimates or what we have been doing. And I know hindsight's always 20/20. I realize that, Corey.
Yeah, and when I did the incoming tons, how I did it is I took the dollar amount that we did for that month and just flat divided it by the rate of $51 a ton to come up with the estimated tonnage. But somebody could have brought in brush at $25 a ton, or been part of it out of county at $61 a ton. I was just using the basic average to get the best estimate of what we were bringing in based on those numbers.
Okay, all right.
Anybody else have anything?
Well, I've done some, like Bill was explaining. Corey, I didn't follow you as far as, are you saying that this report that you give us each time is based on some figures that you generate and not the actual weight figures from the invoices?
From the invoices, when they invoice me, they have two columns on like a spreadsheet. One is the actual tonnage that was hauled. Say if it was 72,000.
I'm looking at it right here.
Okay.
All right.
They have the different columns. I base it on what we paid,
Yes.
not the tonnage that was actually hauled. So that's always going to be higher if we have smaller loads than 80,000, is the way they're rounding up.
Well, have you gone through any of these invoices from Queen City and figured out how much we get penalized when we don't load to 80,000?
Yes. I deduct those numbers. I subtract the actual from paid for every month to see how many pounds we lost.
Okay. Have you figured out how much per month on some of these invoices it's costing us because we didn't load to 80,000 pounds?
It's been, I think last month was 5,000 or 6,000. I don't have the invoice in front of me.
Well, in March, that's what I came up with, that we were penalized about $5,500.
That's what I was thinking
And
last.
back in January, it was about 36.
And March and April is probably going to be weird numbers because of all the bulk that we've had coming in. And with all these people cleaning out stuff, you can only get so much trash on a trailer. And I figured there's probably going to be some low ones this month because of all the bulky trash and less commercial trash that we've had coming in. Of course, I haven't seen
I think
April's
what
bill.
Corey's saying, if you got feathers or whatever, we ain't gonna get 80 on it, but I don't know the answer to that because are we still gonna, I know what people are saying, well, we don't need to be paying for that. Right,
Well, I mean,
Keith?
that's what we're gonna
I know it's
have
what you
to
think,
pay.
but
That's exactly right. This got snuck in at the end of this contract, and I don't like this contract at all.
Well, I think in the contract, we can rebid, what was the,
Well, one reason I made the motion, I think in the last month is that we're gonna start working on the contract the first of the year because I recognized, and I had an idea even back at the time that the contract was sent to Clyde, that it could be problematic. So, you know, if we don't, I mean, say if it's $4,000 a month on a 12-month period, that's $48,000 we're gonna get penalized. We don't load to 80,000 or more.
what I'm saying, I guess, is, and Corey knows more than I do, sometimes it's probably, if you ain't got the right stuff,
I understand.
it's impossible to get. But then, so, I think I understand what you're saying too, Burton.
Well,
We're gonna go
you
back,
know,
and with
just-
our next contract, we're gonna have somebody hauling trash, and we're gonna say, hey, if it's only 70,000, that's what we're gonna pay you for. I mean, I think
but
that's what
if
you're
we're in
saying.
this contract now, so from now until July of next year, we've got to try to figure out how to adjust to the contract, the way it appears to me.
But to me, there's no definite way to do that, because like Bill and I was talking today, you know, a trailer sits out there and gets rained on, it's gonna weigh more before they haul it out, if it's sitting on the yard. If we, at the end of the day, we have nothing but couches and, you know, just bulk stuff, well, we gotta get the floor clean, so that's what's gonna be put on that last trailer. And if there's no, like the way Michael loads a trailer, you put your bulk down and then you top it off with what household garbage he has, because you can't smash down bulk like you can, of course, the squishy bag trash. And so if all he's got left at the end of the day is bulk, then he loads a whole trailer bulk, it's probably not gonna hit 80,000. So it's kind of, I guess we can't control what material's coming in. That's what I'm saying. This month has been so much bulky waste. I've never seen it like this. I mean, we've doubled numbers. There's, between the first of the month and Saturday, there was $65,000 that went through the hands of the scale house. That's just your cash customers, not any charge customers.
Do you think a lot of that, well, maybe
Well, it's
not
where
now?
everybody's home.
Well, what about the tornado though from Nashville? Didn't that come?
There was some, there was a couple of Saturdays, I know Brenda told me that, there were some trailer loads brought in that was charged out of county because, Gallatin was having to turn people away because they couldn't keep up. They had so much coming to them. But we did not get a lot of tornado trash. A lot of it is just, everybody's been home cleaning out their garages, cleaning out their,
Me included.
yeah, I mean, everybody's been cleaning out and that bulk coming in, and you don't have the commercial trash coming in from the restaurants either. So commercial's actually gone down to where your regular individual residents have gone up.
I mean, I understand everything ain't matching up, but I don't know the answer. I need help. I think everybody needs help, but we need everybody's opinion too.
I think if we hadn't have put Jeff Purvis's feet to the fire about the 10 trailers, I don't think he would have put our feet to the fire
That's when the contract started changing.
about charging us for loads.
No,
It's
just not 80.
Yeah. That's just my opinion on it.
I mean, that's how he acted.
Well, if it would not have done that, then the floor wouldn't been clean each day.
I think that's what she's
Isn't that
saying.
what
Yeah.
it was all about?
Well, that's why y'all, the committee suggested putting in the contract 10 trailers a day, but it was already written in the contract that the floor had to be cleaned every day. Whether it took him 8 trailers or 10. But after that meeting, I mean, he flat out told me, he's like, if I have to designate 10 trailers to your facility and only use 8, I have 2 sitting empty. He said, I'm losing business. That's the reason he started changing things in the contract.
Well, if on the other hand, if we were having a problem with getting the floor cleaned every day, and if Tennessee had come in, they would have fined us or could have fined us. So.
Is there some, you too, Burton? Somebody want to ask something on here, I think.
All right, see.
Is somebody asking, want to speak?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Don.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
Well, first of all, Bill, I appreciate the spreadsheet you made. I didn't see it, but I decided to spend a little time this afternoon and I started creating that very same spreadsheet. Then I decided there were too many variables, like trash in transit, like trash on the floor, like the month ending at the wrong time. So I stopped. So I decided to take a view a little bit further away. And I did this. I went 10 years. And I want you to hear this, Keith. I know you're sitting in there. In 2011, we shipped about 38,000 tons of garbage. In 2020, we're going to ship about 54, maybe a little bit more, about 54,000 tons of garbage. That's an increase of 50%. And matter of fact, I checked the garbage in over that 10 years and the garbage out, and it come almost within a few thousand pounds of each other when you do it over 10 years. Now, here's the clicker. In 2009, which is a little bit longer period of time, not the cents in the property tax, but the amount of money in the property tax that we allocated to the Solid Waste Committee was $923,000. 11 years later, in June the 30th of 2019, the amount of money that we allocated to the solid waste was $837,000, $100,000 less over 11 years, butted up against an increase of about half again, about 50% more. So I concluded what I thought was the fact, and that is what we're charging. Our new rates that we're charging are right on. Our problem is we're not allocating enough money for this so-called free trash that we've always talked about. And by the way, what that free trash is all of the convenience centers, plus the Robertson County citizens in Springfield, plus the Robertson County citizens in White House, plus the Robertson County citizens in Millersville. They all get their garbage hauled off for free. That is, it's real simple to me what's wrong. We're just not quite, we don't have that fund built up enough. And it's been real easy for us over the years to use that. And I give Corey credit for being a team player when it comes balancing the budget time. And I don't think we have to look any further than what we're allocating from our property tax portion going to the solid waste. But that's my speech, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Eden.
Corey, have you ever calculated on a monthly basis how much you would consider in the category that Don's talking about?
Haven't broken it down monthly. I do a yearly, like the ones that's in the packet.
I mean, why would it not be appropriate to do it monthly? Because it's an expense that we're incurring.
Well, like on this, the tonnage report that I give you from the ones that looks like this right here, it's not the one that's always in the commission packet. They break down more of, and I have City of Springfield, City of White House. I would have to take out, the private haulers, because that comes into this number above total in. But I mean, I can subtotal it after the convenience centers in the cities to show you what that tonnage is every month.
But you haven't been doing that.
No, we just goes down past that to include private haulers and out of county on the report.
Yeah. It appears that we're not getting enough detailed information each month.
Well, I mean, I mentioned 2 years ago, that's what Mr. Don said. I mentioned 2 years ago about how much the revenue from tax dollars has gone down, and it's consistent that with the growth. I mean, I think our I don't think our convenience centers are gonna slow down. If anything, I feel like they're gonna speed up, especially if the economy drops. People will be like, well, I'll take my trash instead of paying $25 a month for it. You know, I feel like that our convenience centers are gonna go up from here.
Well, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about giving us accurate information every month.
It's on the sheet every month.
Well, you don't have a dollar amount on it, do you?
There's a tonnage right here.
Yeah, but then you don't, in your report, you don't list how many dollars you're calculating that to be, do you?
No.
Okay.
It's a flat tonnage, and, I mean, if you want me to calculate that by the, disposal costs, I can start putting that number in there for you.
Well, I mean, it's an expense that we are incurring, that, you know, it's when we come to a monthly meeting, that you don't have in the reports. You've got the tonnage, but we'd have to sit down and multiply it by $34.75.
I think Corey could do that if we needed to. I mean, that's pretty simple, ain't it, Corey?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
Well,
like Burton said, the amount times the price.
Of course, it's just like, we come into a meeting and you give us a report, and you give us some information from 1 month before, but we don't have it for the 12 months backwards. That's what Bill Moore's talking about, a spreadsheet. And that's kind of what I did. I went through to see what months we had more income than we had expenses.
well, that's like on this one, that shows your year-to-date. You have a year-to-date figure, and, I mean, if the committee wants the report to look different, that's fine, but I've literally done this report the same for 22 years. And if there's any changes made, y'all make that recommendation.
Yeah, I don't see a problem if we
Yeah,
want
we'll
Corey
do
to
what
do
we gotta
that.
do.
I mean,
I
whatever
don't think
you
that's
want.
I don't think that's the reason we coming up short right now. I don't know the answer to that. But yeah, I mean, it's not a big thing to ask for Corey if we need that on there.
I
But
mean,
that
it's
ain't gonna
just
show us
another
why we
thing I
coming
can
up
add.
short right now, I don't think. I don't understand how, like our last meeting we had, when I left there, I was under the impression that we get this thing going. I don't know where we come up on this at, cause my understanding, everything that we ever do out there, when we have to have money moved around, it don't just go through us and Corey. It's gotta go through Miss Jody and on everywhere else. Am I wrong, Keith?
April the 14th is when I found out. That's when we started working on budgets, and Jody and myself, and we started plugging in numbers for solid waste, and we started coming in the red. And so I immediately went to the mayor's office to tell him, and that's kind of how all this came about. I've got a question for Ms. Stewart here is, since all this has gone on, have you reached out to our finance director and asked any questions or asked for any help or?
Well, I mean, when I looked at, say, October's numbers, that's probably the same. When I looked at that number, it wasn't shocking to me that we were that far off because of the estimating. And then after we got into November and December and seeing what it was costing us extra, because, I mean, I have, like I said, in these reports, there's been many years where we've been upside down. But the thing is we've always had a fund balance to pat us. That's the thing.
We've spent a lot of these fund
And like I told you before, I didn't realize in the budget, I did not know that the reserved equipment got moved over to building because I didn't know that was possible at all. And so I did not catch that at the beginning of this year. I thought that money was still there.
Did you understand that, Burton, to be done that way? I didn't either.
I didn't either. I thought the equipment capital set up to the side and it was used for that.
That's
I
what
was told capital, and it got moved in there. That's what I was told.
that's what I understood it too, Keith.
But I was under the impression that her equipment capital was still there as we did all of this.
I mean, that's what I thought, but, because I remember last year having a conversation with Jody and we discussed that 262,000, that was what was keeping our fund balance up, even for last year's budget. And then I think once that got moved to the building and a total of 500,000 got moved to this building fund, I mean, there's no fund balance. There's nothing to pat us.
Starting by these estimates, by October of 20, we're going to be running in the red, and we'll be in the red thereafter if we don't fix it. So We've got to get this thing right.
Well, I made a comment I've made it to Keith and Randy in our discussions in the past week. There, is an advisor with GNRC, Greater Nashville Regional Council, and they will come in and do like a 5-year evaluation of what our disposal's been, what our cost has been, what the population growth is. It'll all be based on trash and the numbers. And they will come back with recommendations to the committee of where they feel the best places to go up. Do we raise tires even higher? Do we raise brush even higher? Do we raise out of county? That's another big one that could really go up, because we should make them pay for coming to us for convenience.
I've always said
And
that.
that's what they do.
And so that's the recommendation I have to help us all sit down and figure out going forward July 1. If we can have come in sometime within the next few weeks, us maybe meet with them by the end of May, see what their recommendations and guidance is on a trash level. And that way we have something in plan and rolling, approved throughout whatever committees. It's going to be rate changes. It'll have to go back to the commission again, but that way everything is rolling by July 1.
How long have you known that this service is available?
I didn't know they would actually come out and help like that. I'm part of this right here. If you, this tells about GNRC. They have different groups. There's a mayor caucus. There's the part I'm in is a round table, and I wasn't aware until my advisor that I deal with the round table program. She used to be the solid waste director for the city of Franklin, and she moved up to GNRC to do this project years ago. But I did not know that they would come out and do that form of like help or audit or anything. I don't know as far as if there's a contract, I don't know what the cost is yet, because I just learned about this midweek last week that they were actually able to do this.
Well, have you been attending these solid waste roundtable meetings?
Yes, but we haven't had one since February, January, somewhere in there. But as soon as, we started discussing the revenue being lower and all that, I contacted the lady and I was like, where are we going wrong with disposal costs? Should we go up higher here or there? And she's like, she said, if you could send me some numbers, which I have sent her a couple of numbers, but she's talking about them coming in and do like a 5-year back audit.
Before we go any further, because our time's getting really,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Keith, I
Yes.
want to ask you a question. Being on the budget, do you, I know, I'm seeing you, I'm reading your mind. You got some kind of something that you thinking we need to do, don't you? Something. Or am I reading it wrong?
You're reading it
You
wrong.
got a thought.
That's not-
Everybody's got an opinion, I guess is what I'm saying, Keith.
I've looked at P&Ls all my life, since 1995, and I can take her P&L statement, and I can't find the wrong here, and that's what scares me, is because typically you can find out, well, this right here is what's causing it. There's no cause. There's no red flag saying this is what's causing it, and that concerns me. I mean, I spent all weekend on this. So to answer your question, no, I do not have a solution to this.
But do you think with what Corey just said would help? I mean, and then my next question is, how much do you think we lost by not getting this approved quicker? 2 months? How many dollars would you estimate that was? Not enough to help out a whole lot, I know, but you understand my question though, right,
gotcha.
Corey? And you did say yes with what she was
I
saying.
think, yes, I think we need someone to probably help steer us. Instead of pulling out a calculator and saying, let's go up 5%, I think we need to go up 9,
There's
10%.
there's people that are bound to be more educated in this than we are, so,
Absolutely.
and this person she's talking about surely is. Well, what the cost of it is, I don't know. Corey said she didn't know
It would
that.
been, say that we average 5,000 tons a month. If we would have went up that $3 higher 2 months, or per month, it'd be $15,000 more dollars.
So we
So
would-
I just told her that one.
Mm-mm. No, and checking from other counties, there are some counties that go higher, but it's because they don't do as much waste, so they have to make up that revenue by charging a higher price. Gallatin, they're doing 55, we're at 54 now. The biggest difference I have seen in comparing other transfer stations, because you cannot compare to landfills. It's a different process, and transfer station is more expensive. Tires, a lot of the counties charge $30 more a ton than what they're paying, to where we're doing 10 more, 20, what we did, we just went up $20 more dollars. So that's an extra 10 or 20 bucks more on tonnage there. But,
Maybe the brush.
yeah, brush, I mean, I think you could
Well,
still
we
go up
just need
higher.
to, I guess we need to get a motion if we're gonna, if we want to do this
We need a cost on it.
before, yeah, well, go ahead, bud.
Keith made a suggestion, I think it would be in order because we're running out of time. I think we need to have another call meeting next week. We've gotten some things out on the table.
And that way Corey could find out that too in the meantime, right, Corey? What this would
What
cost.
kind of cost?
Okay, one thing that we're doing that is, we're breaking the law on is we're absorbing the fee on these credit and debit cards. I know when we passed it, I just remembered Mr. Eden said, well, let's just, don't charge the customer. And of course, now it's accrued to $9,000. I'm gonna give you a Tennessee code annotated that says, unless it's approved by our county commission, that we have got to charge a fee.
We did a resolution and passed it before the commission.
Did
That's
we?
right. We passed.
That we waived?
Yes.
Okay. Well, then I would ask that, we implement now a fee on the credit and debit cards.
Let me make a comment.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Ms. Don.
It would be the same thing, Burton, if we go up on our price enough to cover that. That was the whole idea, to put that in there. Then if we needed to go up, we would.
Well, Don, the amount you need to go up is 2.75 is what they charge in general sessions. It's a minimum of $2.75 or, if it's more than whatever that, if it's a larger quantity of waste, then it would be 2.75. It could be more. The dollar amount could be more than $2.75.
Yeah, well, let me make another comment. The thing about it, it would be too cumbersome to do that. That was the reason we got permission from the county commission. And we decided, as a matter of fact, we've already gone up once. And if we need to go up some more, we need to go up some more to cover that. I think we're having a dollar waiting on a dime on that.
All right.
Hey, Ms. Don, and everybody
Yes,
on the committee, our time is up. So what we really need to do, I think, right now is to set us another meeting for next week so we can just Corey's gonna find out about this advisor or whatever, the cost of it. And then we'll just come back next week because we're running out of time on our meeting tonight. We got other things to do, but appreciate everybody being on. And maybe soon we can all be together. Won't have to be on this,
All right. Can we decide the date and time?
yes, we need to do that right now. What was,
Let me ask you this, Mr. Chairman.
yes, sir.
Can we just extend this meeting until next week? That way that would take care of the notification.
Right.
Right.
That sounds all right to me. Would extend it to when though? What day is good with everybody? I'm good with any day really right now. So
I'm all right.
me and Burton's good with any day. What about you, Mr. Don?
I'm good.
Miss Patsy?
I'm good.
Brother Bill? Anytime? Okay, it's
Anytime, any day.
one then. Corey?
Tuesday or Thursday?
Let's just go with next Tuesday.
was.
Budget meets at 4:30.
Well, y'all don't know what time y'all out either, do you, Keith? So would it be better for us to
We
meet
typically go
Thursday?
an hour and
Would
a
it just be better for us to meet on Thursday?
half, probably.
What about Thursday with everybody? What time do you think,
Good with
Bert?
me.
I get what
6, 5?
they do.
What would be good, better with you? 5 o'clock. Chad says 5, that's good with me. Is that good with everybody? Keith?
Yeah.
Next Thursday,
Okay.
5?
Okay.
So we,
Mr. Chairman, I think you need a motion on that extension there. To extend it.
I'll make a motion that we extend the meeting.
We got a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
A second.
more,
Got a second by Mr. Moore, all in favor, let's see,
Mr. Chairman, are you announcing the time and date in your motion?
you make a
that
motion
clear
for
before
May
the public
7th,
meeting.
5 p.m.
okay.
Is
May
that your
7th,
motion?
5 p.m.
I think we did, yeah, the motion is, tell them, go ahead.
Trying to get,
To extend the meeting to Thursday, May the 7th at 5 p.m.
all right.
Burton made that
That's my
motion,
That's part of my motion.
Mr. Moore, you second that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All in favor, Patsy Gregory,
Yes.
Don Eden,
Yes.
Bill Moore,
Yes.
Burton Glover,
Yes.
Randy Wilson, yes. 5 yeses, no's those.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Burton makes the motion, we adjourn, do we have a
No,
second?
we don't adjourn.
Oh, we can't.
Yeah, just
Point of order.
Yeah,
Let me do that.
Burton makes the motion, we get out of here. Thank y'all for coming on, Brother Bill, Miss Patsy.
Thank you, Randy.